All right, Shalom. Shalom. Just give me a second. Make sure the audio is good, and then we can go into the lesson. All right. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, all honor, and all glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Kodash. I would like to give double honors to my elders and apostles of Great Millstone that do well. Peace and salutations to the Lord's elect, the hopeful elect and 1/3, pushing us 100% truth across the four winds so we can seal the elect and make it to the kingdom. All right, this isn't going to be a long lesson through the Spirit, but I did title it, This is Why You Have to Be Spiritual. Okay, so I was doing my just daily, looking around, watching what's going on, current news and information. Shalom, Shalom, Yabash Mashiach Barakatah, Baharakah Kodash. And I like going on Daily Mail. And let me just show you real quick. This is why you have to be spiritual. Okay. Now, Lord's will, I can get these ads to go away, but I can just pretty much read right here. Just give me a second. Okay. So I'm going to read the title. I'm going to read it plain. It says, Sperminator. This place is wicked. Sperminator 44, who has fathered 78 children and currently has 13 women pregnant, reveals he just can't say no and help many of the women conceive the old-fashioned way. So you got this guy right here, and let me just see if I can. I don't know why these ads are so terrible. I don't know. But let's see if we can scroll down. Just give me a second. All right. So anyways, as you see right here, you got this article where it's this guy who you have what you call a sperm bank, which that's completely wicked. Okay, that's not according, all right, to the Bible. Okay, in actuality, the Bible speaks highly against that. Pretty much everything that Babylon promotes is against Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. All right. So what I want to do is I'm not really going to go reading anything, but we are going to go into the pictures because I do have a few points to make. And this is why I entitled it, This is Why You Need to Be Spiritual, because you see this guy right here. His name is Ari Nagel. Okay. I don't know what he is. I can't tell you. I've never met the man. I've never read his spirit. Okay, but I'm going to use two examples. Now, either this guy could be a Jake or this guy could be an Edomite, but either way, this is why you have to be spiritual, because someone that could just outwardly look like a Jake, their father could be an Edomite, all based off because either their mother slept with an Edomite or because she went to a damn sperm bank. Okay, so you got this one example, all right, of this guy. And like I said, these sperm banks and these Planned Parenthoods, those are completely wicked. Okay, those are satanic altars. Okay, that are completely against the Bible. The scriptures say, "Be fruitful and multiply," but that's between a man and a woman, or a man and multiple wives. Okay, the Bible doesn't tell us that a woman is supposed to live her life independently and then randomly get shot up with stranger's seed, and then she just produces a child, and then you have no idea who's the father of the baby. All right, and that's more confusion. And this is why this future prophecy is going to come to pass. And I want to get this first, just to bring the point home. Just to bring the point home of how this is the land of confusion, man. Okay, because as I was reading this article, I said, damn, man, this place is truly the land of confusion, because, not only a woman can go and get impregnated by a complete stranger, but even one of our curses is that we don't know who our fathers are. Like some brothers were blessed to where they grew up with their father, maybe even knew their grandfather, but for the most part, a lot of our people, they don't know their father, they don't know their father's father, and their father's fathers doesn't know their father. This is why we have to be spiritual. Okay, this is Isaiah 24:10. The city of confusion is broken down. And like I said, this article is an example. This is confusion, man. Okay, and that's why I said we don't know if this guy is an Israelite or Edomite or just a heathen from one of the other nations. So this is to show you, but a man can just walk in and sell his seed, and then it's spread all through the land. And the main people that are going here is Jake women too. Okay, this shows you this is the land of confusion, man. He might be a Jake, but who knows? Like, who knows? But you see all these babies, they're colored. Now, there's an in particular picture I saw. Let me see. Right here. Look at this right here. It says Ari Nagel made his 50th semen donation to mother-to-be Kaija Garrett, center right. So I'm assuming it's her. It says, pictured with her partner. See? Look at this. This is the city. This is the land of confusion where I'm going to just say for face value, two Israelites, you might not even know if one of these are an Israelite, but let's just say these two Israelites, two women, get together to be in wedlock, and then they can go and get this guy who, let's just say, is a heathen, and then now he can use his seed to get her pregnant, and now you can't tell me that this ain't nothing but confusion, man. Okay? This is why we have to be spiritual, because we are in the city and land of confusion. And this is why you have to try the spirit by the spirit, whether they look white, black, what Michael Jackson say, it don't matter if you're black or white, right? Because through curses, through captivity, okay, through confusion, now the nation of Israel is going to look like every nation on the planet, okay? And then you're going to have people who you may think is an Israelite, but is actually an Edomite, man. This Isaiah 24:10, the city of confusion is broken down. Every house is shut up that no man may come in, right? The point I wanted is the city of confusion, okay? And this is yet another example of confusion. All right, let's go to 1 John so I don't lose my point. All right, because you don't know if a man's a man, a woman's a woman, a Jake's a Jake, a Edomite's a Edomite. Everything's a toss-up with this place, okay? Let's see, what do I want? Yeah, this is 1 John 4:1. Beloved, believe not every spirit, but try the spirits. So you have to try the spirit of a Jake, one, to see if he's right, two, to see if he's an Israelite. Because just because you look so-called black, Latino, or Native American doesn't mean you're an Israelite. Because, prime example, your mother could be an Israelite and your father could be a heathen. And like I said, I'm using two examples. I'm using an example of this guy could possibly be a Jake, and he's fathering all these children with every, race and creed of women. So the baby's going to come out looking like every shade. All right. Or, this guy could be an Edomite, and the babies are being mixed with a woman of color. And you may think that's an Israelite, but in actuality, the father's a sperm donor who happens to be a heathen, man. Okay. See, constantly with Jake women. You see this? This guy, like I said, who knows if he's a Jake? Who knows if he's a heathen? But either way, he's being used to spread his seed amongst women, and they're reproducing these children. And just because the children have a complexion, that might not mean that they're an Israelite. Or what you would say, vice versa. That might not mean that they're a heathen. So let's get some more scriptures, and we'll speak more on it. This is truly why we have to be spiritual. It says, and this word try means scrutinize. It says whether they are of the Most High, because many false prophets are gone out into the world, right? But the point we wanted is try the Spirit by the Spirit. Now, let's get one more precept before I dive more into this lesson. Let's go to Romans 8, because you have to remember, okay, two things. Our spirit, okay, as an Israelite, we're naturally zealous, spiritual, holy God people. Jake, no matter what they're going through, they always believe in God and Jesus, you see. So we have a spirit of faith. We have a spirit of belief. So just because someone comes up and they don't look like the stereotypical Jake, that doesn't mean they're not an Israelite. It's all about belief and it's all about the spirit, okay? Because, like I said again, the curses, the land of confusion, the normality that's pushed, okay? You could have two women together and then one can go to the sperm bank and get knocked up by a stranger, and it's just crazy. Romans 8:16, the spirit itself beareth witness with our spirit that we are the children of the Most High. So there's many times where you will have someone that looks even like this guy, okay? Could even look like this chick or this guy right here, but their spirit bears witness with the Holy Bible and the scriptures. So then that's how you judge. You judge righteously, okay? You judge righteously, and if their spirit bears witness, then we'll be like, hey, you're a Jake. But the flip side of that coin is just because someone comes up looking like this, okay, or even looking like this. Well, let's use this first. Just because they come up looking like a Jake, don't mean they're a Jake, man, okay? Just because someone looks like a Jake, don't mean they're a Jake. So prime example, this situation right here, you got two wicked, let's say Israelites. One of their daddies might be a Edomite. You never know. This is why you gotta be spiritual, okay? So you could have someone that comes up like this and, hey, oh, shalom, sis. Here, let's hear the Bible, sis. And she may be combative. That's because her ass is actually a heathen. She may physically look the part, may be thick and all, like your average black woman, but come to find out her daddy's a heathen. This is why you can't just be like, oh, we're black Hebrew Israelites. Because you got black people that ain't even Israelites, and black, there ain't nobody black. But I'm using that loosely, okay, for this in particular lesson. Now, let's dive into some curses, okay? So let's go to Deuteronomy 28 really, really quick. And I want to show you a part of our curses, confusion. We don't know, we can't trace our fathers. You hear that, vocab? Or any Christian, you right, because we're under curses. Now, there is in particular cases, and I'll even give you a personal testimony. I speak as a man. I didn't meet my father's father or know of my father's father until I was about, in my late 20s, man. Okay. So I had to go around life. And even when I learned the truth, I couldn't go back three generations. But through faith, I knew I was an Israelite, because they'll do that too. They'll be like, well, how do you know? Hey, that's why it's all about faith. That's why it's all about being spiritual. Okay. They'll be like, well, how do you know? Because the women did get raped. Yeah, we know that. But the Lord said he preserved 7,000 men that shall not bow a knee to Baal. So that means there's the elect's lineage, okay, has been protected. So you got certain Jake's lineage that, if you will, got cut off because the Lord stopped producing men in that, and then they had a woman, then the woman got raped, then the next baby came out to be a heathen and not an Israelite. You see? But the Lord always preserves in particular lineages. Look at the lineage of Jacob. Our lineages has been preserved through what? Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. Boom. That's a prime example. You see? But now, fast forward into today. All right. Hey, that's the spirit, brother. I got Jeremiah 12. I'm getting that next. The water, brother. But now, fast forward today, through curses in the land of confusion, through disobedience, now majority of us don't know our father or our father's father. So this is why we believe we're Israelites based on faith. Okay. Deuteronomy 28:54. So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eye shall be evil towards his brother. This word evil means hostile, towards his brother, and toward the wife of his bosom, and toward the remnant of his children, which he shall leave. So we have a curse over our people, where the family unit or family structure is pretty much or basically decimated. Okay, the same way our temples got destroyed is the same way our family unit has been destroyed. And you know who's been a major partaker of that? Esau Edom, because it says right here, he shall leave his children. Well, don't you know in the early 1900s, Esau Edom, through his wicked, unrighteous decrees of like welfare and government assistance, he made the man not only leave the house, but he had to leave the city, or if that, the state, so that the mother and the children can receive funding, so they can be taken care of, while he's out and about making ends meet. So he made the man leave. And then over time, past the Harlem Renaissance, then you had the crack epidemic, the push of adultery, the push of drugs, the push of war, the push of draft, the push of black liberation has completely destroyed the family structure of the Israelites, to where now the woman doesn't feel she needs the man, and now the man can't be with the woman. Okay, and now that leaves what? The woman to go to a damn sperm bank, or to go to another heathen, or go to the government. You see? So this is the land of confusion, man. And look what it does to the offspring. Look at what the land of confusion does to the next generation of children through his oppression, through his unrighteous decrees, all right, through the curses. Now, this let's say this is a Jake woman, okay, which I believe it is, but we're just being spiritual. Let's say this is a Jake woman. Her mother and father are broken up because her mother's mother and father were forced to break up, and that led to a generational curse, would lead her to be confused, to deal with another woman, and then go to a sperm bank to have a man like this potentially be a heathen to give them a tear. You see? This is why we have to be spiritual, man. Okay? Just because you call yourself black don't mean that you're an Israelite, and just because you call yourself white don't mean you're an Edomite. Now let that sink in. But we have to be spiritual, okay? And a lot of our people they're not spiritual. They're actually spiritually discerned. This is why they'll be like, GMS lets Edomites in their camps. You don't even know. You don't even know if your ass is Jake. This is Jeremiah 12:9. My heritage is unto me as a speckled bird. Matter of fact, let's look up a speckled bird. Okay. Let's put a new spiritual level. All right. All right, there we go. Let's click that baby. All right. Just give me a second. Okay, so right here, this is what the Most High is saying his heritage is. You got some that are so-called black, some that are so-called white, some that are so-called brown, and some that are just kind of in the middle. Remember, Ephraim is a cake not turned. All right. So Jake is a speckled bird. Okay. And a part of the curses, all right, part of the curses, this is why you have, and how does that happen? Through situations like this. You see? So this guy could either be a Jake or he could be a heathen. But either way, this is why things like this happen. You see? This is why you got to be spiritual. Because you could see, say she's walking down the street with her father. You can't assume that may be a heathen, because you got to try his spirit. Because why? We are a speckled bird. But we're a speckled bird because we're under the captivity, all right, of the confusion, man. Jeremiah 12:9, my heritage is under me as a speckled bird. The birds round about her are against her, speaking about the other nations. Come ye, assemble all the beasts of the field, come to devour. So right there, it's showing you that our people, okay, are labeled as a speckled bird, meaning they come in all shapes, sizes, and colors, okay? So you have to be spiritual in this walk, because just because someone looks black don't mean that they're your people, okay? Ham is black. I seen this Jake, he posted, he said, not all skin folk is the same kinfolk, which is true, okay? So this isn't based about color. This thing isn't based off because you're black or you're white. Now, those are indicators, but then there's a spiritual level to this thing as well. And that article is a prime example. You got this guy who either could be a Jake or a heathen, and he's damn near fathered almost over 100 children through the sperm bank. All right. So you got women out here that aren't even straight, but are having children, and they're not worried about the nationality of the father. But these women, their nationality are more than likely Israelites, and they're going and getting a heathen seed put in them. Then the child has a complexion of a Jake, but in actuality, they might not even be an Israelite. Complete confusion. This is why you have to be spiritual. As that Jake said, not all skin folk is kinfolk. This is 1 Corinthians 2:12. It says, now we have received not the spirit of the world, right? Because the spirit of the world, hey, if you're black, you're black. If you're white, you're white. If you're brown, you're brown. If you're Spanish, you're Spanish. No, not according to the Bible. It's all based off your father's lineage. Okay, you are what your father is. A woman is what they would call an incubator. A woman is basically the earth where the man is planting his seed in. Okay, so whatever that man is and whatever seed he bears, wherever he plants it, that man's seed's gonna grow. Okay, this is 1 Corinthians 2:12. Now we have received not the spirit of the world, right? Because even in the world they'll be like, oh, you're mulatto, oh, I'm mixed. There's no such thing as mixed. Okay, it says, but the spirit which is of the Most High, that we might know the things that are freely given to us of the Most High. And being spiritual and understanding that Jake comes in all walks of life, then you'll also understand the Jew nor Greek breakdown. Okay, you'll understand why Paul was spiritual. Okay, Paul wasn't shunning Jake because they were Greeks or they were an Ephesian, all right, or they were from Kalash or they were from Rome. He was trying their spirit. Okay, this is why we have to try your spirit, because you got a lot of Jakes that ain't gonna come up in the right spirit. Okay, you have a prophecy that's gonna take place in the land of confusion, the virgin daughter of Babylon, which is America, where 2/3 will be taken out. Okay, and the 2/3 are going to look like all nations. Okay, mainly he's going to look like he's so-called black, Latino, or white. Okay, he's going to look so-called black, so-called Native American, so-called Latino, and he's going to also look so-called white. But you're also going to have Jakes that are going to look so-called white as well, so-called Chinese, Japanese, so-called African, all walks of life. This is why we have to be spiritual, and this is why I use this article as a great example. 1 Corinthians 2:13. Yeah, just because somebody comes up and be like, "Oh, I'm from Africa," that we're not going to shun you. We're going to try your spirit. Okay, it says, which things also we speak, not in the words which man's wisdom teacheth. Right, we're not speaking. Man's wisdom doesn't teach you this. Man's wisdom will not say that you are of your father. Man's wisdom will not say, oh, well, your nationality is based on what your father's nationality is. Man's wisdom doesn't teach you that you have a biblical nationality before you identify as a color. It says, but which the Holy Spirit teacheth, comparing spiritual things with spiritual. See? So we're comparing spiritual things. You have a conversation with somebody and you be like, man, that's a Jake. You know what I mean? You at first glance, you may think they're a heathen. Oh, good example. Look at us. People look at us and don't think that we're Israelites. Okay? People think that the outward appearance is the deal. Nah, man, it's not. The outward appearance is not what matters. It's the inward. We're going to get it. We're going to get it. It says, but the natural man receiveth not the things of the Spirit of the Most High. See that you even got camps out here. Oh, no, you're not a Jake. You got actual Israelite teachers that don't believe Conor McGregor's an Israelite. So when you look at someone like Conor McGregor, right, and you claim that he's not an Israelite, then you're bigging up the heathen nation like they're that salty as well. Okay, you haven't fully understood how beautiful and great our people are in a whole. Okay, even though he's not serving the Lord, all right, but you got to look at us on a spiritual, salty, peculiar, excellent, level, man. Okay, because if you really would have believed that Conor McGregor's a heathen, then that means you look at Esau as like some all-star, rock star, cool guy. He's not. Okay, That's not his lot. That's our lot. We're the salty ones of the earth. Okay. So I just wanted to use that as an example because you got a lot of, I've watched camps where the guy is clearly a Jake and they're calling him a heathen, man. Okay. So you got to watch that all black spirit too. There's a lot of Israelites out here that push a black vibration. All right. They're all about black. You got ISBK always talking about the black man, the black man. Hey, well, I'm Native American, so I get offended at that. Let me shut this window. Salakia. You know? So anyways, let's keep reading. This is 1 Corinthians 2:14. But the natural man receiveth not the things of the Spirit of the Most High, for they are foolishness unto him. Yeah, I remember one time when I first came in the truth, I was actually talking to a so-called Israelite sister, right? When I first came in, and I told her how a lot of those Polish Europeans are Jakes because they have bywords like Polacks, and they're also known as the Mexicans of Europe. And she lost her mind, man. You see, because why? That's foolishness unto them. If you're walking around thinking every black person is an Israelite, you are spiritually discerned, man. Okay? If you're walking around saying God's going to take out every so-called white person, you are spiritually discerned. That's off. I even heard a camp last night say that. God go kill all white people. No, he's not. No, he's not. You have Israelites that are amongst Esau. Okay? You have Israelites amongst all nations. Let's keep going, though. You know, it says, neither can he know them because they are spiritually discerned. You see? So when all you worrying about is, come here, black man, you gonna mess around and pull a Hamite, man. You gonna mess around and pull a dark ass Elamite, okay? Or a dark ass Japhite. You don't know, okay? You got heathens that been around Jake so long that they can act like Jake. You got Jake that been around heathens so long that they act like heathens. You have to be spiritual in this walk, man. Okay? It says, because they are spiritually discerned, but he that is spiritual judges all things. So if you are spiritual, then you're going to judge a situation like this. Okay? You're going to judge a situation like this. Now, I won't give my personal opinion. Like I said, I've never met this man. I never spoke to this man. I don't personally know this man, but I'm using this as an example to show you this is why you have to be spiritual. Because a Jake woman could be walking down the street with a so-called black child, but you don't know that her ass waddled all the way to the sperm bank and had a heathen seed be pushed in her, and then 9 months later, a damn tear came out. But on the flip side, this guy could be a Jake. And you see, so this is truly the land of confusion. This is why you have to try the spirit, by the spirit, and you have to see whether they're an Israelite or not. And it cannot be off the outward appearance. It cannot be off the outward appearance. If it is, you are carnal, you are spiritually discerned, and you do not have life and peace. Let's go to 1 Samuel 16, because that's one thing I've noticed in the Hebrew Israelite community. There's still a black spirit going around. Okay, you got a lot of Jakes that are in that I'm black, y'all. I'm black, y'all. Blickety blickety and black. That Jake still in that what's his name? The brother. No, I know he on here. I'm gonna get you, sucker. You can't be in the spirit. Okay, look, it pops right up. Hold up. That whole I'm black is death. Okay, that whole I'm black, y'all. This is death. All right, Jake is still in this spirit, man. All right, you got tares that are acting like they're Pan-African. You be surprised how many tares are amongst Sadnetta's house of unconsciousness. And I'm going to leave it at that. 1 Samuel's, we can really start at 1. You can do that in your own time. This is when the Lord sent Samuel to get an in particular man. But let's go right to the point. 1 Samuel's 16 and 6. And it came to pass when they were come that he looked on Eliab and said, surely the Lord's anointed is before him. But Yahweh Bashemel Shai said unto Samuel, look not on his countenance or on the height of his stature, because I have refused him. For the Lord seeth not as man seeth, for man looketh on the outward appearance, but the Lord looketh on the heart or the spirit. Okay, because the etymology for the word heart means spirit. So it says, Yahweh Bashem Shai does not look on the outward appearance. This is why you gotta be spiritual, okay? Because a guy like this could actually be, I'm not saying this in particular actor, but a guy acting like this, he could be a tear. He could be an actual heathen, all right? So you never know. Like this guy. This guy could either be a Jake or he could be a heathen. But either way, this man is spreading his seed through Esau's land of confusion, all right, through Esau's altars of his satanic rituals, and now he's got seed being spread through the idea of confusion. So now this is why you have to be that much more spiritual, because you don't know whether or not it's a Jake or not. So you can't go off color, okay? You cannot go off color, man. All right. And let me show y'all again real quick. This shit is crazy. They gave this guy a nickname. Okay. They gave this guy a nickname. It says New York sperm donor Ari Nagel, 44, has fathered 78 children and 13 more on the way. So basically 100. Okay. Let's basically say 100. So in this example, and look at this. Ari gets a lot of joy that other parents experience and has helped the Lisa Leslie's, you see it, and older women have babies. So now let's say he's a heathen. So he's single-handedly spread his seed over 100 times to majority, or a majority, as the picture showed, so-called black women. So now these women, all right, are birthing out, let's just say it, okay, tares, but they look like a Jake. This shows you have to be spiritual. Not every Jake is a Jake, and not every heathen is a heathen. That's another title for a lesson, okay? And when I saw this, I was like, I'm not surprised, but at the same time, it's insane, man, okay? So let's get a little more, all right? You got to be spiritual. And now, all right, we're in the time of a lot of Gentile Jakes coming up, and a lot of Gentile Jakes are going to look like the Gentiles, okay? Meaning they're going to look like another nation. All right, we've had them come to camp. All right, but did we shun them? No. Okay, this is John. This is John 4:23. It says, "But the hour cometh, and now is, when the true worshipers shall worship the Father in spirit and in truth, for the Father seeketh such to worship him." So if you're not worshiping in the spirit, okay, if you're not worshiping and judging things spiritually, you potentially or most likely could shun an Israelite foreigner, man, okay? And you'd be nothing more than a wicked Pharisee from back in the day, all right? You got to understand that Jake would exile a lot of his own people, man, all right? We have to be spiritual in this walk of ours, because if we're not, we could offend a little one, okay? And the scriptures also tell you to entertain strangers. So you got to entertain it as. That don't mean sit there and do cartwheels with them. Meaning, if somebody comes up, you're not just going to shun them based off how they look. It all depends on their spirit. Last camp, we had a bugged out Jake. I don't know what he was saying, but just because he was a Jake, we didn't embrace him. We said, "Hey, brother, can you take it down the street?" Because we're not here for all Israel either. We're only here for the elect. And with the elect, we're only here for the 1/3. And guess what? The 1/3 is going to look like every nation, okay? 1/3 is going to look like every nation on the planet. Let's get that real quick too. Okay, this is John 7:35, and it reads, "Then said the Jews among themselves, whither will he go?" Speaking about Yahushua. "Whither will he go that we shall not find him? Will he go unto the dispersed among the Gentiles and teach the Gentiles?" So they knew that you had Jakes that were amongst the Gentiles, because they were a part of the reason that they were dispersed among them. All right, now let's go to this word dispersed real quick. All right, the great diaspora. Okay, what is the great diaspora? All right, scattered abroad, James 1:1, of Israelites dispersed among foreign nations. Okay? So you have Israelites dispersed among foreign nations that are going to look like other nations. All right? But you're also going to have Jakes that not only look like other nations, you're going to have other nations that are Jakes. This is why you got to be spiritual, because as these Israelites are dispersed, let's say in the land of Moab, you think Jake's just going to be sitting there twiddling his thumbs? No, man, he's going to rule shit. Okay, he's going to get women, multiple women, and women flock to Jake. So then he's going to have children, and then his children, and then those children's children. You see? So it's all about being spiritual. And when you're spiritual, you give yourself a life full of peace, man. Okay? This is Romans 8:6, for to be carnally minded is death, right? To be just based off the flesh, all right, is death. To be carnally minded is death, but to be spiritually minded is life and peace. Okay? You want to be spiritual in this thing. Just because someone looks like an Edomite don't mean they're an Edomite. And I was a victim of that when I first came in. Okay? I had a close relative, I'll say a friend of the family who became a relative, who was a so-called Italian, in and out of jail, in and out the streets, in and out the hood, in and out, right? Just literally a stereotypical nigga life. And he asked me, he said, and this when I was first coming in, and this is a personal testimony. And he said, well, what about me? I go through those same things. So what does that explain for me? And guess what? I couldn't give him an answer because I wasn't spiritually built up enough yet. But now through the Spirit, we are, okay? So now we can tell, nah, brother, you're an Israelite too. Don't worry about it. You a Jake too. You know, I remember I told a woman at camp, don't worry, you're going to get your color back. She looked just like what you would call a Karen. Nah, you're going to get your color back. And you know what she did? She started crying, man, because her spirit bared witness. She leaned over and whispered and said, I don't like white people. And she looked like a so-called white person because her spirit bared witness, because she ain't one. All right. She's an Israelite. So when you're carnally minded, you can't see that. But when you're spiritually minded, you have life and peace in these situations. Okay. That's why you judge righteous judgment. Let's get that real quick. All right. This is John. I don't know if I read it, but I'm going to read it again. This is John 7:24. I knew I was in this chapter. John 7:24. Judge not according to the appearance, but judge righteous judgment. Hey, that's why it's so heavy. You even like the demon vocab. You know, you've heard even brothers, even myself. I'll be like, it'd be crazy if he was a Jake, because we're being spiritual. You're taking your emotions out the picture and you're allowing to apply the Spirit. Okay, and you're gonna have that. You're going to have people that you never would have guessed, okay, is an Israelite. Then you're going to have people you never would have thought are a heathen, all right? And I remember Elder Pastor Har said at camp, he said, you're going to have big, beautiful, thick, so-called black, well, I'm roughly paraphrasing how he said it, but he said, you're going to have beautiful, thick, so-called black women that are actually going to be Edomites. And I said, damn, he ain't lying, because you look at some of our women, all right, and they got the outward appearance, they got the whole package, but their spirit is just so wicked. It's because they're actually a tare, okay? And if you don't know the parable of the tare, read Matthew 13, all right, 31 on down to 40, okay? The wheat and the tare parable. I'm not going to read it now for time's sake, but definitely read it, man. This is Micah 5:7, and it says, now let's read Micah 5:8. It says, and the remnant of Jacob shall be among the Gentiles in the midst of many people. So right here is telling you that Jake will be amongst the Gentiles. And Jake, not only being amongst the Gentile, he gonna have some women that are Gentiles and some children born from them Gentile women, and taking on their outward appearance pertaining to their color, but not pertaining to their spirit. You see, that's the spiritual aspect of your lineage is through your father. The spirit bears witness with our spirit, and our spirit, all right, the father shoots the seed in, and that's what consummate your spirit as an Israelite. and then it grows in the woman's womb. That's all it is. And it says, in the midst of many people, as a lion among the beasts of the forest, as a young lion among the flocks of the sheep, who, if he go through, both treadeth down and teareth in pieces, and none can deliver. Now, this is speaking about a future prophecy. But the point I wanted was, and the remnant of Jacob shall be among the Gentiles. That's a cold cut. All right. That's a cold cut right there. Now, let's get this last one. All right. Let's bring the point all the way home. Now, Revelation 7 is going into the elect. The 144,000 men with 12,000 will come out of each tribe, okay? Israelite man. But you also have the 1/3, which is what? The multitude. Now let's read this. Revelation 7 and 9. After this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude, which no man could number, of all nations, right? Of all nations, okay? And kindreds and people and tongues stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and palms in their hands. Meaning what? Isaiah 14 and 1. And the strangers shall cleave, the Israelite foreigners. Okay, that's the part of the 1/3. Rev 7 and 9 goes hand in hand with Isaiah 14 and 1. Now let's go into this. So when you go into the word nation, let's get that first. So you go into the word nation, right? Let's click that. The word nation means, drum roll, it means a multitude, whether of men or beast, right? A company, a human family, a tribe, a nation, people, or group, right? Now that we got nation, let's go into kindred, okay? Kinfolk, as Jake would say. All right. And this is the point I want, and this should pretty much be the lesson. So now we got nation. It says, but and kindred. So the kindred coming from that nation are what? In the New Testament, all persons descending from one of the 12 sons of the patriarch Jacob. That proves that the 1/3 is coming out of all nations are Israelite, and that proves that to be an Israelite, it's got to come through the seed of a man right there, man. Okay? Right there. That's a cold cut. That's a cold cut, even when they say you need man, Israelite man and woman. No, you don't. It's all based on your father, okay? And your father's 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 father. And now it say, well, I can't go back, father, father, father. That's why the bloodline is now through faith and spirit, okay? It's being spiritual now. So I just wanted to do that lesson on this, showing you this is the land of confusion. This is why you have to be spiritual. You have a man right here, okay? Could be Ishmael, he could be Esau, he could be Jacob, but this man single-handedly, known as the sperminator, has damn near fathered over 100 children, which they all look like Jake, okay? And you don't know if these children are Israelites or they're heathens. This is why, going back to the parable with the wheat and the tare, it says, let them grow together, okay? You got to let the wheat grow with the tare so the angels at the harvest can separate the sheep and the goat. But I'm just using this as an example, so I will not say whether he's a Jake or a heathen, but I will use this article as an example to show you have to be spiritual. Because just because they look mulatto or they look mixed or they look black or they look Latino or Native American don't mean they're an Israelite. And just because they look white, just because they look Chinese, just because they look Japanese, don't mean that they're a heathen. You got to be spiritual. Now, is there a lot of our people that do look that fit so-called? Yeah, absolutely. But you also have a lot of our people that don't. So be spiritual in this thing. Try the spirit, by the spirit. Remember, all right, we are as a speckled bird. So the best thing to do is remain spiritual. Pray to the Father for a spiritual talent, and you got to have spiritual discernment, because we are in the time where multitudes of Jakes are going to be coming in, and they're going to look and come from all walks of life. And we just proved it with the future prophecy in Revelation 7 and 9, where you're going to have the sons of the patriarchs of the 12 tribes coming from all nations. Okay, so Lord's will, you brothers and few sisters were edified through the Spirit. And this is the spirit we have to walk in. Okay, we have to walk in that spirit, because you got a lot of Jakes that are going off color and not going off the Spirit. Please also check the comment board. All right, brothers are posting beautiful precepts. I wasn't able to get them. Okay, hey, the water brother. Hey, you brothers tuning in. Okay, so hey, with that being said, I want to give all praise, all honor, and all glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Bahar, Rakak, Wadash. With that being said, Shalom.